Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this masterclass, SEO strategies to increase bookings. Time is precious, so let's get started. My name is Amylee Silva, and yes, you can ignore the spelling that you see here on your screen. Up until recently, I was a trifecta host, meaning I had a home listing, in-person experience, and an online experience exclusively on the Airbnb platform. I've had the absolute honor and pleasure of helping over 1,000 hosts execute on these exact tactics and strategies that I'm about to teach you today. So, my goal and the agenda for the end of this session is that you'll understand exactly what a keyword is and why it's so important, and most importantly, how to actually optimize your listing with these powerful keywords. So, let's talk about the boring stuff first. What is SEO and search engine optimization? Search engine optimization is using the specific words and exact phrases that people type into a search engine and using those words and phrases into your descriptions or on your website or across your social media platforms so that you can rank higher and people can find you. Now, I'm going to refer back to Google a few times as a search engine because they do own 80 to 90% of all search volume, but technically Bing, Yahoo, Google Images, YouTube, and even Pinterest are also search engines. So what is organic traffic and why do we care? There are two ways to get traffic off of the internet. One is to pay for it by using cost per click or pay per click ads, as you've probably seen. And the other way is with organic traffic, free traffic. But in order to get free traffic from a search engine, you need to use keywords into your online presence and integrate it into your descriptions and the way you speak to users. So, what is a keyword? A keyword is a word that organizes digital content and information on the internet. Consider a search engine like Google, like Yahoo, as a big online library. And their goal is to organize everything that we put onto it so that when we search for a term or a phrase, we can be found and our answer or our question can be answered. So, again, why does this matter to you? Because if you are able to find these powerful high volume keywords and you land the most coveted spot, which is the top spot, number one in the search engine result page, you will receive 39% more clicks just for being number one. And what's even more astonishing is that it's okay to be in second and third because first, second, and third represent 54% of all the clicks that will ever happen in a search result. So aim for number one, but it's okay to be number two or number three in this regard. How does this look like then on an Airbnb listing? Now, typically speaking, a keyword is a noun, a proper name, a place, a person, a historical site for those of you who are Airbnb experience hosts. And using this example that you see here on your screen, I've underlined three key phrases, the nouns that I found in the description: Alfama Baixa with rooftop balcony, Baixa Campo de Cebolas, and Lisbon's Historical Center, which is a more descriptive keyword, but I'll get to that in a couple of seconds. It's honestly considered a long tail keyword phrase, so it just means it's more than two words strung together. The best next example that I can give you is what temperature to cook a turkey at. Long tail keyword phrase. So underlining these three areas, and again, I'm showing you the power of keyword research in a very small condensed area. I'm not telling you to completely rewrite your listing or invest thousands of dollars in renovations to make your photos look better or your home look better or your listing appear or your experience appear more attractive. I just want to show you the power in a very small section so you can understand the potential. So when I started my keyword research or my data collection, I actually used those exact phrases and I put them into a keyword research tool. And essentially what I found was that there was zero volume in the way that these words were written. So you can see that represented by the zeros across the three columns. I'm going to explain the three columns in a couple of seconds, but essentially these words that were already present on this listing had no search volume. But in this platform that I use when I was collecting data, I found alternatives. And the first alternative that was given to me as a result was, instead of using Alfama Baisha with rooftop balcony, I was offered the alternative of Alfama apartment with balcony. Now, the first column there that has the number 20 in it represents the average amount of searches per month. So 20 people per month searched this exact phrase, Alfama apartment with balcony. Now, 20 doesn't sound like a very high number, but what's really exciting about this data that was returned to me are the two following numbers, which is $3.28 and 54 cents. Those next two columns represent cost per click and pay per click. So what this tells me is that Google would charge me almost $4 for the privilege of running an ad targeting this keyword against these 20 people. So imagine you would almost pay $4 for someone to see your ad, click on it, and land on your listing. And the fact that those values are over $1 means that these 20 people, they are buyers. They convert, they buy, they book, or they give you their email address. They're interacting with you. And we're going to see the difference right now. Campo de Cebolas has really high volume, 880 people, but then the next two columns, the cost per click and pay per click, are zero, meaning this is an informational keyword. And what you want to find is a balance between transactional keywords where people actually make a purchase, versus where people are still in the research phase, information gathering phase. And we can see that clearly between these two keywords, one with low volume but very high conversion, and then the other very searched for but not necessarily a conversion on the other end. So you want to balance between the two. Now, the last version, Lisbon's Historical Center, has a variation in spelling and languages. And this is one of my favorite parts to also teach on or show, is that understanding who your client is, who your ideal guest is, could be the difference in you using the word or typing the word center with ER, attracting an American English speaker, versus center with RE, which would attract a Canadian, an Australian, or a British English speaking individual. So these are the little nuances about keywords and why this type of research is so interesting, because it really dives into, consumer behavior, search engine behavior, and how we spell and how we speak and what we search when we actually go to a search engine like Google or Yahoo, Bing, YouTube, etc., etc. Now, also in my research, I had some bonus keywords, some alternatives that were presented to me, like Alfama District, which has, again, 720 people searching this every month. So an informational keyword, because I don't see any buying signals on the other side, but probably an important keyword to include just in case. Now, the one area that hosts forget about the most, and this is so important for the Airbnb algorithm, is your photos. Please do not upload photos that are just called image123.jpg. Rename these files, rename these images, and include keywords in here, and include keywords into your caption. Now, a sneaky little keyword that we can, sneak into this photo was the Tagus River. So that little glimmering light in the top left-hand corner is actually the Tejo, the Tagus River in Lisbon. So this caption here reads, "View from the room balcony." And what we could easily manipulate this to be, or the caption to be, or to read, is, view of the Tagus River from the balcony. And that could potentially gather 5,400 views if it was properly optimized. Now, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but just, again, trying to show you the potential. So based on the three sections that we looked at, the title and that first sentence and those two underlined areas, we took this listing from a potential 0 volume, search volume, to up to 1,790 potential views per month, which is massive and can really pay off, literally. So what does this look like, and how did I get to this point? I'm about to show you. I'm going to use this little fun, want to know where to travel, just to kind of show you that this can be done for any area, any city, any village, worldwide. It's probably going to show me an area I've never searched for before. So Amori, Japan. So let's discover Japan. I'm going to highlight this word. And now I'm about to show you the most powerful keyword research tool in the world, the Google predictive search engine bar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the word Airbnb with the area. Now, this is usually the time where in my group classes or in my private sessions, I get asked this very important question, which maybe you're thinking of right now, is, do people actually search for Airbnb listings on Google? Wouldn't they just go to the app on their phone? And the answer is yes. There are a lot of planners like myself who conduct their research first on Google before going to the app, and then really narrowing down on the area that they might want to stay in, or narrowing down on the activity for you experienced hosts on what they might want to book. And there's two ways you can do this. You can use Airbnb first and then the town or city, and then add Japan. Or you can do it in reverse, town, city, and then Airbnb at the end. What's happening right now in the predictive search bar is Google is telling me the top 10 most common search results or most looked for phrases the minute I start typing. I haven't even finished the word Japan, and it already knows that I'm probably looking for an Airbnb in Japan. Then it's giving me rules people would like to know. Some individuals would like jobs. How much is an Airbnb in Japan? Is Airbnb allowed in Japan? So let's finish this off and see what happens. Okay, so let's put that in here. All right. Now I'm truly beginning my competitive and keyword research. Right now, what I would normally have right beside me is a little piece of paper and pen, and I'm going to jot down commonalities, phrases that are being repeated. What are the keywords used in these ads that I can see right now? So this is also a good signal. Competitors like Vacation Renter and Booking.com are actually paying for ad space against this keyword, and they're trying to compete against Airbnb because the keyword here is Airbnb, Amori, Japan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so what I'm looking for, holiday rentals. So the word holiday versus vacation, I'm jotting this down. What is the search behavior like? The best vacation rentals in Amori, Japan. Cheap, never recommend you use the word cheap. Homes, so people are looking for homes. I see homes twice. And now here's a very interesting one, furnished, extended stays. So people traveling to this area are looking to stay longer. They're looking for long-term rentals maybe versus short-term rentals. They're looking for furnished options. And this is not necessarily common when you're looking at other cities around the world. So I'm jotting this down, furnished, extended stays, ixnay, cheap. Vacation rentals. So the first result had holidays, and now I see the word vacation. Again, really knowing who my customer is and where they come from will help me decide whether or not to use the word holiday versus vacation. And if you're unsure, based on my years of experience and having lived in various countries around the world, holiday is typically used in the UK or British English countries like Canada and Australia. With the exception of Canada, actually, in this regards, vacation would be more common for North Americans, if I could put that in there. Okay, Beautiful. Kid friendly. So huge keyword right there, right on the first page result. Is my home, is my listing here in Japan kid friendly? And that makes sense. If they're looking for furnished rentals, if they're looking for long-term stays, maybe these are families that are looking to relocate into the area or work there. Fireplace. In all my years of searching, I've never seen fireplace as a USP, as a unique selling proposition, but this is apparently important for this region. And this is exactly the type of words and data you're going to discover when you start researching your own area by adding the word Airbnb plus your city or plus your town or plus your state, etc. These are the trigger words that you're going to find by doing some basic keyword research. Now, we've got some more common ones. Pool. We're seeing again this long-term stay. They want to stay here for the month. Pet friendly. Such an underutilized keyword across the Airbnb platform. People are really looking for pet friendly homes, and it is a very strong keyword. So if you are open to pets, please consider using this in your description, into your title. I almost promise you that it will result well. All right, let's try another country. Let's see what happens let's spin again. I've actually been here. This is fun. All right, let's see what happens when we do. Now let's try the vice versa. McKay, Australia. Let's type this one. Airbnb. Okay, so again, this predictive text, Google is already telling me, Emily, McKay, Australia, Airbnb, that's not the most common searched phrase. It's actually Airbnb, McKay, Australia. I'm buggling this all up. Please don't judge me. All right. So what do we have here? We have some more sponsored ads. So we've got our competitors, booking.com and vacation renter. So how are they describing these homes, apartments, great prices, vacation rentals, Queensland? We have a little bit of Portuguese mixing in here. I am bilingual and I do live in Portugal. So my search results kind of feed me a little bit of English and a little bit of Portuguese every once in a while. And you may find some variations and differences in your search engine results as well, based on your location and your search history. I don't see anything else kind of jumping out at me. What I'd really like to see is, can I get to a listing directly? Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit. So Airbnb Paris near the Eiffel Tower. All right. France is always a popular destination, but this is what I want to show you. This is the power of optimization and adding keywords to your listing in 2 clicks. So my search plus one more click, I could be directly on your Airbnb listing if you used the phrase close to the Eiffel Tower. So flat close to the Eiffel Tower. We had another option there as well, which was stylish apartment for 4 in Paris near Eiffel Tower. So remember, the key word that I was up here was Airbnb Paris near Eiffel Tower. And this listing right here has it exactly written in the exact same way in their title. Stylish apartment for 4 in Paris near Airbnb. And again, in 1 click, I am directly on Roxanne's listing. So kudos to you, Roxanne. This is the perfect example of keyword optimization. Imagine that, searching for an Airbnb near the Eiffel Tower, one of the top 3 search results comes back and I am directly on your listing. I fall in love with these images and I check availability and I book. This is the ideal journey for a customer who's searching for apartments. They don't even need to go to the app. They can directly do this through Google. All right, let's go back once more because there's actually a trend that's happening on this page. And as I said, I'm cheating a little bit because I did do a little bit of research prior to this recording. But what I can see here is for 4. And then a little bit further down, I had another example of Airbnb for 2 people. So now it's actually changed, which is interesting. And this one here has view of Eiffel Tower and sunset. So again, a nice little USP or an emotional trigger word there. You don't find let's count this. So we've got 2 ads, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Airbnb landing page for Paris in general is the 4th result. And then this is where you would come and you would see their top recommendation. So their guest favorites, as we call it now. Then we have vacation rentals for every style, houses, apartments, and villas. And then this is a really interesting page to, take into consideration when you're jotting down these keywords and information that you should include. Paris's top sites, if your listing is near any of these, the Moulin Rouge, the Pont Alexandre III Bridge, it's really important for you to use these keywords because if these phrases are also included in your listing, if you attach that or Google makes that connection or any search engine makes that connection that you're near the Eiffel Tower, but you're also close to the Moulin Rouge and the bridge and the Sacré-Cœur and Bercy Village, you have an even better chance of showing up in the search engine result pages. So keep doing this, repeat this, Airbnb plus city plus your town, and really look for these common phrases. Are people calling out that their apartments are made for 4? Are they pet friendly? Are they furnished? Are they good for long-term stays? Do you have a pool? Do you have a hot tub, etc.? You want to write all of this down. Whatever you see on that first page when you're kind of doing this research, you want to write these all down and take note of it, because if it applies to your listing, you want to include it because Google is literally telling you people are searching for these terms. So how do we validate this information? I'm entering into a paid program that I actually use for keyword research, but in this video below, I'll recommend a free Chrome extension that you can use that can help you validate the actual volume and data against some of these keywords. So I'm going to start typing them in here, which is Airbnb near Eiffel Tower. That's correct. No. It's okay. Don't worry about capitals sometimes. Eiffel Tower. And then we had, okay. Let's add another one. Airbnb Lisbon. Just so you can see. Okay. So right now we can see that Airbnb Lisbon has a really low difficulty score to rank for. So it's the perfect keyword to kind of sneak into your photos and captions. Here's a Airbnb Lisbon view of the 25th of April bridge. That's something that you can put in there. 1.6 thousand people search this every month. Global volume is over 7,000 people, and it has a cost per click of 50 cents. I would really like to see that cost per click a little bit higher. So let's look at some matching terms here. Now we've got Airbnb Lisbon, Lisbon Airbnb, and you can see the difference here. So most people are going to put Airbnb first plus the city. This is a difference of 1.6 thousand people versus 800 people. Cost per click is the same. So we have a very similar buying signal. Now in my little trusty tool here, and I love this, call out to our Airbnb experience hosts. Airbnb Experiences Lisbon. It is a search for term, so you guys are being protected there. So Airbnb, here's a targeted one now. Airbnb Lisbon City Center, people who specifically want to be in the city. Again, we're seeing Alfama, like in my example, people who want to be in the old historical town. The Alfama district of Lisbon is almost 900 years old, or is actually at this point 900 years old. People want to stay there. People are looking for the old town. They're looking for an Airbnb with a balcony. These are such important little words and phrases to include, because this is what people are looking for. They want outdoor space. They want a balcony. They want to be in the old town. They want to be in specific areas in your town and city, and they want to book with Airbnb. So find a way to use these keywords and phrases into your description. Now, my trusty little tool kind of helps me organize information a little bit better. And I'm prioritizing by what I've already mentioned, cost per click, buyer intent. And the highest buyer intent that I have here at the moment is $1, which is fair. And these individuals are looking for the Baixa, the lower part of Lisbon. Best Airbnb. Definitely a keyword you can sneak into an image name or into your caption. You might be hard pressed to actually include that into your description. Definitely not into your title. I'm pretty confident. Best is a banned keyword for Airbnb listing titles. Again, we've got Alfama coming up. We have Baixa again. People still curious. Should I book a Lisbon Airbnb or a hotel? That's kind of like a cheeky keyword to include in your description. If you would put, are you considering a Lisbon Airbnb or a hotel? Here are 5 reasons why you should stay at my apartment. Those are kind of like creative ways from a copywriting perspective of how I would try to sneak that into a client's website or a client's listing. And I could keep going on, but hopefully this really helps you understand why it's so important to do a little bit of research, find these informational keywords versus buyer intent keywords, and how you could easily integrate them into your existing copy and listing. So, what do we do from here? What now? The first steps in optimize your listing is exactly what I've just shown you. Go to your Google search engine bar and type in Airbnb plus your city name plus your destination, or plus tuk-tuk tour or day tour, private tour, family tour, etc. And start conducting some keyword research and competitive analysis. You're going to see who you're competing against and how you need to speak to your ideal customer in order to show up, to be indexed, to get into that top spot. You need to use those keywords. You need to use those phrases into your description in order to even compete. Number 2, please optimize your photos. It is an actual checkbox for the Airbnb algorithm that every single photo on every single listing, whether it be a home or an experience listing, has a caption. If you don't want to do the extra legwork and actually renaming all the photos, uploading them again with the proper file names, then please, if you take nothing away, make sure that every single photo you have in your listing has a caption and a keyword. Extra brownie points for that. Now, if you found these other keywords, pet friendly, furnished, long-term rentals, near the Eiffel Tower, balcony, views, certain districts, Baixa, Alfama, make sure to sprinkle all of the keywords that actually relate to your listing, sprinkle them everywhere, in your title, in the first sentence, in your bio. I have been an Airbnb host in Lisbon for 10 years. I love my city. This is what I love about Lisbon, etc., etc. There are really unique and creative ways that you can include keywords into your descriptions and into your copy naturally. And that's going to be very important. That's the next screen. Or actually, it's this next point right here. Never stuff your keywords. Here's a great example. Hi, my name is Amylee Silva. I'm an Airbnb host in Nazaré, Portugal. I love being an Airbnb host in Nazaré, Portugal, because it's the best place on earth. In Nazaré, Portugal, how many times did I say Nazaré? Does that sound natural, or does it sound like I'm stuffing keywords and I'm forcing information in there to try to trick the search engine into allowing me to appear in the search engine results? So be careful. Everything that you write, everywhere you sprinkle these keywords, make it sound as natural. Let it flow Never try to force the keyword into the sentence. So, reiterating again, very important, never stuff your keywords. This is a surefire way to get banned or delisted, another technical term. So there you have it. Thank you so much for hanging in here for 30 minutes. I hope you took away some very valuable nuggets. If you ever have any questions or concerns, or you're still kind of left scratching your head, please find me on Instagram at Amylee_Silva. You can pronounce it Emily when you speak to me, or you can check out my website, emilysilva.com. Twice a month, I host group sessions where I teach this masterclass, but more in depth, and where I can actually, help you one-on-one. And then I also offer private lessons if that's what you're after. And then that 1 hour and a half is spent just you and I talking about everything you. Thank you again for hanging in here. I wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Thanks for viewing.